Hi, I'm Matt Stowe with OctoClean, and today we're going to be talking to one of our franchise owners about how do you build a profitable and successful franchise. I'm honored to invite Carmen Garcia to join me today. Carmen started out with OctoClean, actually with her brother as a helper/employee back in 2015. Fast forward a few years, Carmen became a franchise owner on her own in 2018. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming in. And, so I'm going to ask you some questions. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So starting a business is obviously hard. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And starting a franchise, the intention is that you're going to be working with a partner, someone who knows, an organization who knows how to do the things that you're going to be doing in the business. And with that, it should mean that you're profitable faster.
Yeah.
That would be my first question. About how long from the time you started did it take for you to start seeing profit? That meaning that you are no longer, in the red, you are in the black, and you're starting to be able to use your money to do things with.
Knowing the process of starting a franchise, I know that I wasn't going to be seeing much the first few months, but over time, I want to say less than a year, I was able to pay my bills. I was able to pay my employees insurance and all of that. And then I could say now I'm able to pay myself more.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. Well, and we deal as business owners, we deal with struggle all the time. And, so it doesn't matter how big you are, the struggles just kind of become bigger and sometimes easier to deal with because we become conditioned, to handle these problems. But at the beginning, a lot of, people who are looking at a franchise or starting a business, they're concerned about, they're fearful of the struggles, the challenges that come with starting a business right away. Yeah. What would be the things that, you remember that you struggled with when you first started out?
Oh my gosh. Finding the right insurance companies to work with, seeing what was in my budget at the time. Like I said, once you go into starting a business, you're not going to see a lot of income coming in. So you have to see what you're working with. You don't want to put yourself in debt also because you still need money for gas and all of that. And then kind of just learning how to talk with people and getting more information. It's for example, going out and talking to the customer, learning how they are, how they communicate. So you kind of have to learn certain things also. Yeah. And it's going to be a struggle because you don't want to come off too aggressive or too nice or I don't know. It's just, I think there's little areas where I struggle that I feel like I'm slowly overcoming. Yeah. And I've seen progress since then. Yeah. So.
Well, you've done an amazing job at growing your business. From the first time you and I sat down and talked to where you are now, and you have how many employees on payroll?
8.
8 employees on payroll. And it's what I tell people all the time, and I think you could probably relate to this because you mentioned it earlier, is that it's not about you still have the fear.
Yeah.
Right? You still have the fear of talking to a potential employee or working with a customer. It's just that you become more courageous, right?
Yeah.
You get more confident. So, and I've seen that in you as you've grown a lot since you've been here. So obviously OctoClean provides support services. I mean, we give we want to give franchise owners certain resources so that they can feel confident in doing what is most important, which is taking care of the customer, working with your employees. But what would you say out of all the services that OctoClean does provide to you, customer service, accounting, training, quality assurance, what would you say is a service that you use the most and you think is a real service to you as a franchisee?
Customer service. Your customer service ladies are very helpful. Every time I have a question, I always give them a call and they're able to answer it, or they'll reach out to me once they have an answer. You and Greg are also a big help because if it's flooring or anything like that, or like any kind of chemical, I could give you guys a call. Like I know I could always reach out and there won't be a problem.
Okay, very
So
good.
you guys have been really helpful with this process.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And we don't provide all the services, you know. So you know, I'm sure that you have your ADP or a Paychex or something like that, right? That you work with, and what other services do you have to have as a franchisee that are important to operate your business?
So the past year, I've been growing a relationship with the broker. So whether I have questions in regards to my insurances or policies, like I'm always able to like reach out to her and ask her. And then I also have like an HR, like any question, I'm always like calling them, like, you know, so it.
Well, and you operate in California, and so having an HR service or someone you can reach out to.
Yeah, and with all the new policies coming out, it's really important to stay on track, just so like I'm ahead, so that way anything were to ever happen, I know what's going on.
Yeah, that's excellent. You know, and I not only for those who are watching this, you know, today that are looking at, you know, maybe looking at a franchise or starting a business on their own, but for our existing franchisees. I mean, you know, human resources and having access to somebody who's a professional.
Yeah.
It's so important these days.
And it's always okay to ask questions. Like I'm always calling them. I'm like, I have a question. Like it might be a dumb question, but at the end of the day, they're giving you an answer, so you're like relieved. Like okay.
No, but seriously, I mean, if there are no dumb questions, and to them, I'm sure they, you know, they hear a lot of questions that, you know, the questions you're asking, hundreds of people ask them that a day, I'm sure. So good for you. I'm glad that you've built those relationships, and you know, those are important relationships to have. So, you know, there's going to be folks that are watching this that are considering buying a franchise, or they're looking at it because they're considering starting their own cleaning company or other company. As someone who's had success in their business, what advice would you give someone who's, you know, really looking at this may be something I want to do?
If this is something you really want to do, start it if you're going to be committed. Don't just throw yourself in this expecting money to come in within the next 2 months, or, you know, like, how do I say it?
This is not a get-rich-quick scheme?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to work for it. You have to work for it. There's going to be early mornings, late nights, cries. You know that?
Oh, yeah.
So you have to go in open-minded, and you're going to get a lot of things thrown at you, and it's going to determine whether you could continue or not. So.
Well, thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. So if you happen to be looking into a franchise, or you just want to get more information about OctoClean, you know, please click the link below and somebody will reach out to you. Until next time, thank you, and thank you, Carmen, so much for coming in. Have a great day.